Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. Got another amazing watch by Oceaneva. Now, Oceaneva is one of these micro-brand companies that I feel extremely fortunate to collaborate with. When you guys watch my videos, most of them are going to be very, very similar, right? It's basically unboxing a watch, giving you guys my thoughts on it, sharing what I like to call the check boxes. And everybody's going to have a different reason for buying a specific watch. At the end of the day, you always should buy what makes you happy. Don't be buying a luxury watch because you think it's going to fulfill some void you have for the needing the perception of others and how people might view you. You want to get a watch that's going to be good, solid quality, a good build, right? One you're going to really like the way it looks, one that you're going to enjoy wearing, and something that you're going to be proud of, right? Now, you can be proud of $50 watches, you can be proud of $50,000 watches. Ultimately, the most important part when buying a watch, my number one checkbox I talk about religiously on this channel is, do you like it? When you look at the thousands of watches out there, which one do you see that calls to you, right? That's the most important thing. Not listening to what YouTubers state with their fake news and their nonsense about, you need this watch or this is the number one watch. There really isn't a number one watch across the board. There is a number one watch for you. Now, as you start to grow your collection, you might have 370 watches like myself, and then you're not really going to have a number one, number two. You're going to start to appreciate all the watches, and every watch has kind of got a time and place. I don't mean a certain venue that you have to wear a certain watch. I mean a time and place where you feel like wearing it. That's the most important thing. What do you feel like wearing on any given day? So, watches are a lot of fun, collecting's a lot of fun, and I encourage you to think about these check boxes when buying a watch or shopping for maybe your first watch, maybe your 10th watch. So, Oceaneva, again, micro-brand company. It's one of these companies that produces a watch that really kind of, how do I word this? I want to be kind here. There's some people like myself just tend to buy watches and collaborate with brands, right? I know, contrary to what you folks think, that I've never bought a watch in my life. I've bought hundreds of watches, right? I do collaborate with brands, fortunately, which is fantastic for the channel, fantastic for me. And yes, I get a lot of free watches sent as samples in order to add to my collection, make videos about and review. This is a business, of course. Anytime that you click one of the links in my description, those most of the time are affiliate links. If you find value in me sharing these products with you, then give back. If you don't want to, and it's not something that you like, or it's not going to fit your set of check boxes, then roll on, right? There's lots of other people, lots of other YouTubers out there you can watch that might resonate with you better, right? So nobody's forcing you or twisting your arm to watch this channel, but I hope you do. So with Oceaneva, this is one of these companies that actually really listens to the watch community, right? There's folks in the watch community that are extremely over the top with features. They have to have a sapphire crystal. They have to have this. They have to have that. When ultimately, in my opinion, very, very few of these features really make any bit of difference in the real world, right? So, and what I mean by that, if you have a watch that's made of 904 versus 316, that's something Rolex proprietary uses proprietarily on like a lot of their watches. They don't use 316 stainless steel. Now, they may have in the past. Rolex is 904. A lot of people feel that they have to have that. It gives you no advantage in a day-to-day level. And some folks kind of get delusional about it. They think, oh, it's got a better luster. It really doesn't. The only 904's main purpose is to be used in like the chemical industry, where there's highly corrosive fluids coming through these pipes or being stored in vats or whatnot. Again, I can't give you guys every single situation, but it's highly corrosive resistant due to the higher nickel content. As far as putting it into a watch, it doesn't mean it doesn't really do anything unless you're going to become the Toxic Avenger or you're going to become a mermaid and live on the bottom of the ocean, right? 316 is really all you need. But again, if it makes you happy having it, then you should get it. But my point is that a lot of times people get too involved in these features and think that you have to have these features in order to have a quality watch, and you really don't. The quality is a huge curve and a huge range of prices. You can get quality at 50 bucks, you can get quality at $50,000, right? The differences in quality are really pretty minute in my opinion, right? So But when it comes to Oceaneva, they do listen to what I consider the wannabe watch snob or the watch snobs, and people who will turn their nose at watches who don't have specific features, right? Doesn't mean they're right, but it may be right for them and what they want to purchase. But I want you to understand, again, the features that people worry about aren't really too much of a concern. Now, when it comes to a brand like Oceaneva, they do understand that, and they are smart about their marketing. When they put out a watch, they don't just put automatic movement and give the watch community just a very vague list of specifications. They really hit you with everything possible. Every feature, every specification, they want you to be aware of it. And whether I agree or not, it is really great for folks who are watch collectors who really value that information. Me, not so much. You guys know me. I'll wear a $30 watch and I'll wear a $3,000 watch. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I get just as much enjoyment out of wearing them. Now, the watch we're going to talk about today, I do truly love. And we're going to talk about some of the features that they've put into this watch that do make a difference. And I'm actually pretty surprised at the difference. Number one, before we get too involved here, is the lume on this is absolutely incredible. I've never seen a watch like it. Absolutely stunning, and we're going to talk about that. I also have a sheet that the company sent me, just giving you kind of a comparison with a expensive Seiko brand that would be comparable, almost comparable in, again, I don't want to say quality, but in those features, right? And in all honesty, this watch gives you way more bang for your buck than most of the watches out there. Now, the price on this is absolutely incredible. This is on special, and I want to hit you guys with this right off the bat, like $350 right now. And this is not going to last. So these are on pre-order, pre-sale. Get this. My coworker saw this. He was like, dude, I got to get one of those. So hopefully he does. And I am just super blown away with this. So let's check it out. So this is Oceaneva's brand new release. This is the GMT Titanium Automatic Watch. Dive watch. Unbelievable. Now, of all the watches I have in my collection, this one here is very unique because I don't have a watch with the all-white face, all-white bezel. So I know that seems like every manufacturer would make that, but it is actually a hard color combination to find. Cosmetically, I absolutely love the way this looks. I'm not normally a huge fan of titanium just because it has more of a subtle matte finish. More of a kind of a darker, not gunmetal, but it has a different look than stainless steel. An incredible material, don't get me wrong. Lightweight, super strong, but it's not one, like I have a few titaniums by Spinnaker. They don't get a lot of wrist time. Gorgeous watches, but this one here, the white on that titanium is just really unique looking. I've worn this watch for the last 3 days. I wore it to work. I've already put scratches in it. You know, with my watches, no matter what I have, I generally tend to wear them, even sometimes when I really shouldn't, right? But this is, you know, I am putting this to the test here. And like I said, I have so many watches. I've worn so many watches that they're all pretty good. But again, there are differences, okay? So let's talk about what this watch, the major differences that you're getting with this watch. And I want to start off with, we're going to do a little comparison here between this watch and, of course, a Seiko Prospect. It looks like SPB 381. And this is just one of the watches that you can get from Seiko for an astounding $1,300 to $1,500. This is incredible. And it's amazing to me, too, that luxury brands just don't do crazy markup either. I mean, a brand like Seiko, to me, that watch gives you nothing worth that price, in my opinion. I would never pay $1,300 for that watch. And most watches, right? We know that. But, all right, so what do you get? Let's just kind of do the comparison here. Now, there are many Seikos out there, absolutely, and there's many different price points. Seiko is a fantastic brand, not knocking on Seiko, but Seiko, people like to kind of forget about something called markup. All watch companies are businesses, and all watch companies want to make money. They're not here to provide you watches that are full of features for a great price where you can buy that watch for $1,500 and say, you can't get this anywhere else. This is what Seiko does in their watches. It's really quite ridiculous. So this is just another example of companies producing incredible value watches that are just unheard of 20 years ago. So what do you get with this? So when we compare the new Oceaneva GMT titanium. Well, let's talk about the material. So that's one of my top check boxes. What is the watch made of? If you like it, right? And if you don't like the white on white color combination, they have a slew of other colors, and I'll talk about those later on down into the video. So if you're going to get the Seiko, you're getting stainless steel. Most likely that's 316 stainless steel, a fantastic material. However, this is grade 2 titanium. Now go ahead and Google grade 2 titanium. I can't kind of go into every single detail in this watch because this video will take 4 hours, right? So both fantastic materials, right? Grade 2 titanium, incredible, lightweight. I'm actually, if you're used to wearing stainless steel in some of the larger Invicta watches, sometimes you have to kind of get your mind around a watch being lightweight. It doesn't mean, and I know you guys know this, but it doesn't mean it's like low quality. But we associate sometimes weight with quality, with heft, and this watch is definitely lighter weight. So, but again, not sacrificing quality materials at all. We have grade 2 titanium bracelet and case. The Seiko, you're gonna get stainless steel. Still a fantastic material. Don't get me wrong. One's not really better than the other. Although titanium probably technically is stronger than stainless steel, but both still great materials, okay? You get sapphire crystal. Now, I think sapphire crystals, personally, is meaningless for me. I feel like any crystal that you get out there, you have to purposely try to scratch it for that to really mean something. But if it makes you feel better to have a sapphire crystal, by all means, these are your check boxes, not mine. I may not agree, but nevertheless, it has a sapphire crystal. So, of course, if Oceaneva didn't put sapphire in there, you'd have people complaining about it, saying, oh, it doesn't have the features, doesn't have the specs, the spec monster. Well, it's not a spec monster watch that we all love in the watch community, right? So that's great that they do listen to people, right? Whereas I don't. So you do have a sapphire crystal. It is the most scratch resistant crystal, right? We get it. So movement, both have 24 jewel movements. Both have a GMT function. If you're not familiar with GMT, you can see there's another hand there on this particular watch. I did it in yellow. Love it. Just gives it a little pop. GMT, I generally set mine's not set at the moment, but I generally set it to military time, right? The Seiko has Lume Bright Lume, and I believe that Lume Bright is a proprietary Seiko luminescence. This has grade A BGW9 Swiss Luminova. Now, there are different grades, and I was kind of curious on this because this is the feature on this watch that's unbelievable to me. Now, I've said many times in my videos, Lume is not something I really care too much about, but for purposes of this video, this Lume is absolutely incredible. Now, I have watches with BGW9 before, but I think the grade level is different. And so there are 3 different grades. This is grade A. This is a step up from your standard lower grade. There is a higher grade to the, if I remember correctly reading about it. And basically, in a nutshell, it has to do with how much light the product can absorb and how long the product continues to glow. Now, I gotta tell you, I've said in many videos, if for you folks been watching me for years, that my Aqua Dive watch is a fantastic quality watch. That watch is gonna run you $2 grand all day long. It was a collaboration. I love it. Don't get me wrong when I say this. It's a watch that does get worn. I enjoy it. And I've always said the lume on that watch is absolutely incredible. This watch, I have never seen anything like this. The lume on this, I don't even know, I'm just confused because I thought it was like tritium. And generally tritium tubes, when they use those in watch indices, they have like a 20-year half-life. So they continue to glow. It's decaying radioactive material, to the best of my knowledge. It's breaking down and it gives off a slight glow. It is completely safe, to the best of my knowledge. But this watch, we all know, right? When you get a watch, you put it in the sun, you come in, it's glowing. And then it glows for a certain amount of time. Then it stops glowing. I shit you not. This watch, I haven't even been like really in direct sunlight. And what's really interesting, when I am in direct sunlight outside, I come in, sure, it's glowing really bright. But the difference in that is it's not glowing to the point where it's like, whoa, that difference isn't that insane, right? You have good lume, and they're all bright when you come out of the sun. What's incredible to this is I'll spend 3 hours inside the house after I've come in. It's getting dark. There is some, light on in whatever room I'm in. And by the time I go to bed, I swear to God, I shit you not, by 8 hours later when I get up and I look at my wrist, this thing is still glowing. not super bright, but in complete darkness, you can read the time on this. And so I still don't understand how it's possible doing that, because my understanding is that these materials need to charge with sunlight or unnatural light and build up a charge, and then they give off that charge. I don't know if this material is so sensitive that it's picking up just a little bit of ambient light coming in from outside. Like I said, the room is pretty dark. There's like a clock on. I don't know if it's so sensitive that it can pick up that material, or that this material is so reflective that it's just picking up, you know, maybe the tiny bit of light that may be in the room and allowing it to continue to glow. But this sucker, I don't think it stops glowing. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And like I said, this watch, I generally sleep 7 to 8 hours. This watch will be in darkness for 7 hours, and I can roll over in the morning and look at my wrist and still make out the time and see the indices and see the bezel glowing and read it legibly. So unbelievable. Of all my watches, 370-ish, I don't have any watch that has this type of lume or this quality of lume. So I mean, if you are a guy, you know, whether you like me or hate me or enjoy the videos or not, and you happen to be watching this video, if you are looking for a watch with incredible lume, look no further. I don't see how it can get any better than this. Than you'd have to get tritium tubes. And honestly, this watch, I mean, I'm actually shocked by it, right? So let's move on. So we have a ceramic bezel on both watches. That's pretty standard. I like ceramic more than like stainless steel. You know, there's all different kinds of materials they're playing with nowadays. There is a kind of a shiny, almost like, you know, when you think of like powder coating in motorcycles and cars, stuff like that, there's like a richness that you get, a depth to powder coating, and there's kind of a richness and a depth you get from a ceramic bezel. I love the way a ceramic bezel looks over like a stainless steel or a aluminum insert, but again, it depends on the watch. But both these watches have that particular feature. We have as far as the movements are concerned, the Seiko has a Seiko SR54 automatic movement, and then the Oceaneva has the S2 NH34 automatic movement, which is a Seiko branded movement. It's a movement that Seiko makes to be sold to companies to put into their watches. What else? Water resistant. This is a huge difference here. So the Seiko Prospect only has 200 meters of water resistance. This sucker has 1,250 meters of water resistance, and this has been ocean tested. And this is the kind of company where I know, you guys know I'm a huge Invicta fan as well. Lots of other brands, right? But when I see Invicta with like a 3,000 meter water resistance or whatever their water resistance may be on a particular watch, you know, a lot of times those aren't really tested, right? With these watches, with Oceaneva, they really take pride in putting their watches to the test and making really tool watches. Now, that's not something that I really care about, but I have a lot more confidence in a watch like this, of this quality, from this company, really being a tool watch, right? I have no qualms about dunking this sucker and going swim with it, taking the hot tub, shower, whatever. So just incredible depth rating. We do have a helium release valve on the side. Like I said, this watch is just fully featured. And again, ocean tested. So I will, if I remember, try to link to a couple of their videos where they took these watches down. They put them on like some kind of sea rover and really put them to the test, kind of like Rolex did with one of their divers to the Mariana Trench. I don't think they've been down that far, but again, these are ocean tested. The weight on this is lighter than the Seiko. The Seiko has got 176 grams. The Oceaneva 136. And that's really only a checkbox if you are looking for a very lightweight, comfortable watch. I honestly think they're all comfortable. The only advantage I see for me personally to have titanium watches, so I can say I have a titanium watch, right? And the fact that it has a different look than stainless steel. Screw down crown on both watches, 42mm case diameters. The Seiko, I guess, comes in a cardboard packaged box. The Oceaneva always has a great presentation. They gave this dive case. I like the fact that it's like this blue. A lot of times companies just make them black. Invicta does a lot of yellow. This, you know, I like the blue. Very oceanish, right? I love the Oceaneva logo. It's just the trident. This is a company that, to me, just really has it all together. When you crack open the box, of course, they give you the screwdriver, they give you an extra band. In this case, this looks like it's silicone or rubber of some sort. We're not going to dig into that too much there. You know, your papers, your card, you know, warranty card, your hang tag, and a little polishing cloth here. Now, what I also like about this watch is, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I get pretty excited when I get a watch, right? After all these years, whether I buy one or get one, I'm just as excited. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. This has actually got screwed links. And so you're usually going to find screwed links on, I don't want to say a higher quality watch, because that gives plants a seed in your mind that if it doesn't have screws that you're getting low quality. And that's not the case. But I do like the fact that they give you the tool, and I don't, you know, when I got this, I was actually at work. I picked it up from the post office, and I quickly sized this, right, at work. And, you know, I wouldn't be able to do that if it, again, you can just take it home, I get it. But for me, I thought it was really nice to be able to have a screwdriver that fits the screws perfectly, and be able to size this just right then and there. Not a huge deal, again, but that is something you do see on higher quality watches. Again, is it going to make a difference in the actual way that you wear your watch or the longevity? No, but it is something you see on watches on a different level, right? And again, I don't want to make that out to be like that these things really matter in quality, because if this didn't have screwed links, they're still very functional. They're not going to fall off on you, right? But I do like that it has that. You do have 5 levels of micro adjustment, which is great. You can really fine-tune this watch to fit your wrist. For my wrist, I took out, I think, 5 links out of this. Let me see what I took out. Yeah, I took out 5 links, and I have a 7-inch wrist, and I'll show you what it looks like on the wrist in a second. And we still have room to move here. We still have 1, 2, looks like 3, 4 more links, plus your micro adjustment. So, very cool. If you have a small wrist, it's going to fit you. If you have a larger wrist, it's going to fit you. Just a well-made, amazing watch. And it's incredible that we live in a world where you can get something like this for $350. I don't know any company out there right now that can provide you with a watch of this level of quality, this level of specs, for this price point. And these aren't going to last. I mean, they're going to sell out. And the case, I forgot to mention this. The watch box looks like, based on my information from Oceaneva, that it's an S3 waterproof mil-spec case, and it is made in the USA. I don't think the watch is made in the USA, but again, don't quote me on that. All right, so let's take a little closer look at this here. Dual push button deploying clasp. I like these. I like these more than like a friction clasp. Again, none of them fall off your wrist or anything like that, but it I just like it a little more. I love that Oceaneva. Again, one of my favorite parts on Oceaneva is their logo. I love the simple trident. You know, everybody's going to have a little bit of opinions, right? And some folks are, you know, they complain about the Invicta branding all over a watch. I don't really care about that. If it said Oceaneva on the clasp as well, it wouldn't bother me, but I like it's clean, simple. The only branding on this is on the case back. Hopefully you can see that. And of course on the face of the watch. Just a sweet watch. Also, the owner of the company also told me they put a lot more time into making the bezel on this. This bezel has 0 back play. It is just a super tight bezel. Very easy to turn as well. Sometimes when you get a watch, you know, I've had it across all different brands. When you go to turn the bezel, sometimes they can be a little slippery. This has a really nice coin-edged bezel on this. It's very easy to turn. It's sharp. Again, for you snowflakes out there, you're not going to cut yourself, okay? But it definitely is usable. It's definitely something that, you know, like I said, with like some of the Invictas I have, you try to turn the bezel and you're slipping off it. And that just depends on how a company decides to make a particular watch. But this watch is really made with the idea that you're going to wear this diving. Again, I don't dive or anything like that, and most of you folks who wear watches don't. But, you know, some do, of course, and it's just a great example of a microbrand company that's just knocking it out of the park with their level of quality. Everything about this brand I absolutely love. Now again, these are Submariner style watches, right? They're not meant to copy a Submariner by any means, but remember, people think that anytime you have a watch that looks like a Sub, that, you know, it's a homage, and it really isn't. Like, there's nothing really over the top unique about a Rolex Submariner. They have a 3-link bracelet, they have a round case, they have a bezel, you know, I mean, it's pretty standard, right? So, you know, anytime you have a round watch doesn't necessarily mean it's a homage. So this is their own thing. Some would say that the Rolex Submariner is a homage to the 50 Fathoms. So again, somebody had to come first somebody had to make a round watch first, and that's just unfortunate in the watch community. Everybody thinks anything that looks like this is a homage to a Submariner, right? Now, of course, absolutely similar, but I don't really think that that's what they were trying to do. You know, they did their own thing with the clasp. Of course, it is a milled clasp. It's an incredible watch. These are limited edition. I think he sent me, let's see here. Of course, how nice. I do appreciate our collaboration. I really do. He sent me #1. So pretty awesome, very generous. A company that I feel very fortunate to be able to work with and collaborate with. And then again, I'd be lying to say it isn't amazing to get these awesome watches in my collection. I feel very fortunate and very proud that these companies want to work with me. You know, there's a lot of YouTubers out there, and some are very very dishonest. Some are watch snobs. Some are wannabe watch snobs. What I call watch snobs in sheep's clothing, right? Ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to, and for companies as well, you have to pick somebody to work with that you feel is going to be in the best interest of your company. And for me, I work with companies that, for the most part, work with most companies. It doesn't matter if it's camera, smart home tech, or a watch. I'll always give any watch a fair shake and show you guys the quality. Everybody's budget's different. Everybody's list of things that make them happy is different. And ultimately, whether you take my advice, I'm never going to sit here and tell you, you need to buy this. I want you guys to kind of make your own decision. Now, I don't want to try to insult anybody's intelligence. I know a lot of folks are like, yeah, I already buy what I like. It makes me happy. Absolutely. Good for you. Kudos, right? But there are some folks out there, and I get questions all the time. Hey, what do you think of this leather jacket? What do you like better, this watch or that watch? And ultimately, my response is always, what do you like better? Because you're the one wearing it, you're the one paying for it, and it's got to be something that calls to you and makes you happy. So, without further ado, let's throw it on the wrist. I'm about 5'8". I weigh about 182 pounds, and so I have a 7-inch wrist. Now, I do have to take one more link, or use one more micro adjustment. It's a little loose on me, but again, not flopping around too much. I could tighten it up. I could leave it like that. It's not really a big deal, but you can see it is just a great looking piece. And again, I encourage you to look around, see if you can find another company making a white-on-white watch. I know you may find one, but there's not that many, and it's just on that titanium. It is just an amazing, amazing looking watch. Again, I've been wearing this watch for several days now. I love it. If you haven't checked out my other Oceaneva reviews, I have done, I think, 2 or 3 other Oceaneva reviews. Every watch I get, I'm really excited to get from them because these watches are very universal. I mean, I don't think there's anybody, even if you're a guy who loves the huge Invicta watch, just like I do too, and some folks won't wear, I won't wear a small watch, and I wear all watches. I really enjoy all different brands and all different styles and colors, but this watch is definitely something that is very universal. It's very, you can wear this watch swimming, you can wear this watch mowing the lawn, you can wear this watch to work, you can wear it to play. It's just a very universal, quality, classy looking watch, and I encourage you to pick these up while you can. Now let's talk colors real quick, and then we'll kind of close this video out. So color options, I did have a few. When I first looked at these and wanted to get my hands on one, I was kind of hemming and hawing between two. They have basically a blue face with a blue and white bezel. They have what I'll call the Stormtrooper white face, same as this, but a half black, half white bezel. They have the white face, blue and white, black face, black and blue, or your Batman bezel. Then, of course, we have a black and green, the all white like this one. We have a black face with that Stormtrooper black and white bezel, and then black on black. They're all pretty cool. I do have a different Oceaneva watch that's done. It's the, which one? It's a stainless steel GMT that I have, that white face with the blue and white bezel. That one definitely called me too. Had I not had that watch, I might have selected that one. But with this, I was kind of going back and forth with the white face and the black and white bezel. I think that's my second favorite variation. But the white, I mean, in all honesty, it just was really calling me, just because you don't see, I don't know of any other titanium watch that has that kind of darker grade of metal, that darker color with that white face. It just really pops. It's very unique, and I absolutely love it. So that's it, folks. Get them while you can. The retail on these, the MSRP is $14.99. They are on pre-sale for $3.49. Again, link is in description. Get it while you can. And try to use my Fat Cat coupon code. It's PHATKAT. Again, that's in the description. That should get you 10% off. So try to use it. I don't know if on a pre-sale like this they're going to let that fly, but nevertheless, even at $350, pick one up, order it, get it. You will be happy. If you're in the market, you know, a lot of folks out there reviewing watches will say, oh, this is the best, you know, dive watch under this. You know, again, there's so many options out there, but for the price on this, this is an incredible value, and I encourage you to snatch it up while you can. If I can help in any way, let me know. Drop me a comment or drop me an email. Again, when you click that link, you will see a couple videos by Oceaneva. One of the videos actually shows this GMT watch going down to, it's either this one or the stainless steel version, going down to 5,325 feet, which is 1,623 meters on one of their ocean rover. So pretty incredible tool watch, stand the test of time. Get it, enjoy it. You'll thank me later. Thanks for watching. Oh, and how could I forget? As always, Oceaneva. I mentioned it many times, but I do appreciate our collaboration. Thank you so much. I look forward to doing more in the future. Take care, folks. Bye-bye now.